Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Nation's Pastime in the nation's capital. I'm your host, Andrew Snaith, here with my co-host, James Higgins and Robbie Cruz. And it is officially 1 week before opening day, and we are very excited here in the studio. And we're going to have our prediction show ready to go, taking a look at all of our divisions, all the way up through the playoffs and awards as well. We want to thank you all for tuning in tonight here on WCUA Radio. And before we get started, a quick reminder, if you want to call in at all and discuss anything baseball related, that number is 202-319-5106, 202-319-5106. So, James, I believe that this, in the past, has been some of our more lengthy and interesting shows, because we've had a lot of dissenting opinions here on MPNC.
Yeah, season prediction time is always the best time of the year. How could it not be? You know, we're 1 week away from baseball season. Everyone's excited about their team, even Rockies fans, even Orioles fans, even Pittsburgh Pirates fans. Everyone can have that excitement in spring training and opening day, and then the games really count, and we'll see what happens. But I'm excited for the season. It's going to be a fun season, a lot of storylines coming, and you know, we'll get into some of the news that broke today. But an unfortunate break for one of the top contenders in the AL, the Chicago White Sox.
Indeed, as well. Also joining us tonight from the virtual environment here is Robbie. Robbie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
Excellent. Thank you very much for joining in tonight. Robbie, I think it's safe to say that over time here on the show, you've been known for some quite hot takes. Do we have any of those to expect tonight in the prediction show?
Can I say my favorite before he goes?
Your favorite for what?
My favorite hot take of his.
Oh, your favorite Robbie Cruz hot take? Absolutely.
Are we doing this right now?
I have already bought a 2019 New York Yankees World Series championship t-shirt.
Stop! Don't go there.
You're a fool.
Look, I had every single right to believe that, and I stand by it. You know, I don't have any regrets with that. No regrets, because that was our year.
That was your year?
Yep, I'm standing by it.
Robbie, can you answer me a question real quick? Who won the World Series in 2019?
It doesn't matter.
Who made the World Series in the American League in 2019?
It doesn't matter.
Not just who won.
What's that?
I said who made the World Series from the AL in 2019?
We don't need to talk about 2019, man. This is 2021, okay?
That's very fair. That's very fair.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm
sir.
well aware the Astros should not have made it that year, okay? There was a buzzer scandal with Jose Altuve. There was a buzzer scandal with everybody. There was a pie tar scandal with Justin Verlander, and that was our year. But we got robbed again.
James, I feel like you might have struck a nerve here with Robbie.
Well, I don't want to rehash the past, so let's get into 2021.
I agree very much so. And before we do that, just a quick reminder, go ahead, follow us on Twitter real quick. It's at @PastimeCap. You'll get all the recorded shows available there on our YouTube page and all the other show information that you may need. So like James said, let's get on to the future. We are a week away from opening day. Very exciting stuff. And let's start right off the bat with our divisional lineups. Now, for the sake of time here, because I feel like this is going to be a rather lengthy discussion as it normally is, don't want to go over as we have a fantastic show lined up for you on WCUA after this. I think to save time, we're going to give our division predictions, and I want each of you, for each division, to give me the reason why one of the teams that you chose is in the position that you put them.
So not all, just do one breakdown for each league?
Correct. So,
okay.
For example, if I tell you the AL Central, and you think that the Royals are going to win the AL Central, you just pick the Royals and tell me why you think they're going to win it instead of going out of every team. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
Very good. All right, Robbie, let's start off with you then, the king of the predictions here, your daily sports truth. I want to take a look at the AL first. We're in the AL East. What's that division look like for you?
So we go in all 5 teams or just the winner?
Yeah, give us your lineup and then pick one of the teams and tell us why you put them in the position. You don't even have to pick the winner. If you think that the Orioles are going to come in 4th place, you can explain why you think that.
You know, I actually don't think that the Orioles are going to be as bad as people may anticipate them being this year. But for starters, let's look at number 1. I don't think there's any debate that the New York Yankees are going to be winning the AL East this year. The Yankees are clearly the best team on paper. They're clearly the best team with or without injuries. Their depth is absolutely incredible, and their pitching is going to be great this season. Mark my words. 2nd place in the American League East. It's a bit of a surprise, but I actually have the Tampa Bay Rays repeating second, or they're going to be 2nd place in the East again this year. I think that the Rays are going to really surprise people and be great this year. 3rd place in the American League East. We're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, obviously, I would typically have the Blue Jays finishing 2nd. However, after the Kirby Yates news, I think they are completely knocked out of second place in the AL East. I don't think that team stands a chance right now because that bullpen is utter garbage. You need a bullpen if you're going to win some games. Fourth place in the American League East, the one and the only Baltimore Orioles. Trey Mancini's back. They got they got a few pieces. They got Felix Hernandez and Matt Harvey on their team. I don't think that they're going to be really good, but hey, they actually have prime names. And finishing in last place is James Higgins' Boston Red Sox. They are going to be really bad this year. Now, I want to pick the Red Sox for my team.
Please explain to us. I think James is here. He's wondering. He wants to know.
Yeah, please explain that one. You're going to have to do a lot of explaining.
Because, number one, the Red Sox do not have a pitching core. I don't believe in that pitching. I believe in the Orioles pitching more than the Red Sox pitching.
Really? No. I actually want to hear you talk about that because you believe in Matt Harvey, who has like a 5 ERA in spring over a healthy Eduardo Rodriguez, over Chris Sale, who's going to be back in June, so he won't wear out in August and September.
I'm not buying in on the Boston Red Sox. I'm not buying in on Chris Sale. I'm not buying in on Eduardo Rodriguez. Yes, I will give you. Nathan Eovaldi, I think he's going to be a problem this season. But most importantly, I look at the Orioles overall. I think that they have a better team if you look at it. Now, John Means, I think, is underrated. Jorge Lopez, I think he could be okay. In that bullpen, Tanner Scott, Cesar Valdez, Dylan Tate. I mean, these guys are Paul Fry. These guys are all pretty solid. And I don't think that the Red Sox are really going to try to win that many games this year. I know their lineup's pretty good, but hey, the Baltimore Orioles lineup is just as good. Now, remember, final point, baseball is a game that you cannot predict. I think that this year a lot of things are going to go the wrong way for the Red Sox, and that's why the Orioles are going to finish ahead of them. Now, honestly, why are we having this debate, though, between the Red Sox and the Orioles? Because to me, it doesn't even matter. I don't think either of these teams are making the playoffs. I think both teams are going to be hot garbage.
Well, thank you very much, Robbie, for that enlightening look into your AL East divisional predictions. James, I want to ask you real quick before we get into yours. There's a certain quote that Mr. Robbie Cruz just said, and that was that the lineup of the Orioles is just as good as the Red Sox. Do you believe that that's true?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and why is that?
Absolutely not. First of all, the Red Sox have the best shortstop in the American League and a top 5 MVP candidate year in, year out in Xander Bogaerts. He is one of the more underrated superstars in the game. He consistently puts up a 300 batting average, 30 bombs, 100 RBIs. He is a superstar. He has superstar written all over him. He's been a superstar for the last few years. He took less money than he would have taken on the open market to come back to play in Boston. He loves it there. He is a perennial MVP candidate, and I think he'll finish top 5 this year. Right next to him on the left side of the infield, you have Rafael Devers, and we saw what Devers did in 2019 in a full season, and it was unbelievable. He hit 32 homers, drove in 116 runs, had an OPS over 900. He's one of the best young stars in the game. The future of the game is in really good hands with Devers. And look, last year he had an okay 60-game season. But guess what? 2021's a new year, and 2020 was a wacky year. Devers is one of the best young players in the game. He's going to be just fine. Alex Verdugo. Not a lot of people paid attention to what Alex Verdugo did last year. Well, he finished 5th in the American League in hitting. He hit 320. He had an 844 OPS. He was a leadoff hitter. Made highlight reel defensive plays in right field. He's going to be moving over to center this year. He's a cog at the top of the order. He's got good power, hits for average, has speed. He does a little bit of everything. J.D. Martinez is going to bounce back. Bobby Dahlbeck is going to provide a lot of pop at the bottom of the order. Hunter Renfroe is going to provide pop at the bottom of the order. Frankie Cordero will provide pop at the bottom of the order. The bottom of the order is going to strike out a lot, but they will hit a lot of home runs. Do I think the Orioles lineup is better than the Red Sox? Absolutely not.
So given that,
and I'm sorry I didn't come prepared with stats, but honestly though,
I have a legitimate question. Why are we debating the Red Sox and the Orioles?
You're the one who brought up the debate.
That's fair. All I said was I think that the Orioles are going to be better than the Red Sox here. I wasn't trying to make a big debate out of it.
That's fair.
My thing is these two teams are completely irrelevant in the American League.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I wanted everyone to give one team that they explained a little bit. James, is it safe to say then the Red Sox are yours there? Is that fair? Or did you want to talk about a different one?
In the AL East?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll explain the Red Sox. And can I go into their pitching staff now?
Yeah, go into their pitching staff. Actually, before you do that, though, why don't we just back it up a bit? Give us your how the division's looking for you from 1st to 5th.
The Yankees will win the division again. Even if they have injury trouble, they'll stay healthy and they'll they'll be in October once again, led by Garrett Cole, Aaron Judge, if he stays healthy, Giancarlo Stanton, all that. They're too good not to, right? Second through fourth, first of all, I'm going to say the Orioles will finish in last place. I think second through fourth is going to get a bit muddled, and it could come in any order because a lot of these teams, I think, are very, very close in competition. But I've got a surprise for you. I have the Red Sox finishing in second.
Okay.
The Blue Jays finishing in third. The Tampa Bay Rays finishing in fourth.
Wow.
I'm bullish on the Red Sox only because of the bounce back I'm expecting from JD Martinez, the way the offense is going to look, and if things go right pitching-wise, which I think they will, they're going to contend for the second wildcard spot.
Very, very bold. So you have
Look,
the
everyone's
got
to make one bold prediction,
That's fair.
and everyone is usually high on the Angels.
Yeah.
Like if you asked me a month ago, I probably wouldn't have been this high on the Red Sox, but I feel good with how the offense has looked. With how certain guys have looked in spring training. Not that spring training means anything, but I feel good with where the pitching rotation is at, how the offense is looking. Where JD Martinez is going to bounce back. I think we can all agree on that. Maybe we can't, but I personally think he's going to bounce back. And he had a very bad 2020, but that was a wacky year for everyone. Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers, Alex Verdugo, all cogs in the middle of that lineup. Kike Hernandez setting the tone at the top. I think. Kirby Yates is a big loss for Toronto, and obviously, you have the addition of George Springer, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., all that's Cavan Biggio, Bo Bichette. You have a very good young team there, but last year was a 60-game season. Can they hold up over 162? I'm not denying their talent. I think they'll finish over 500, but I think the second wild card race will come down between the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, and I think the Red Sox will finish one game ahead of the Blue Jays for the second wild card spot. So I think it's going to come down to the last series of the season.
So you really don't see any other team in the AL challenging that wild card spot
For the second one?
Yes.
No, I do.
Oh,
but
you do. Okay.
I think Minnesota's going to get the first wild card spot.
Okay.
And then I think that second wild card spot is going to come down between Toronto and Boston and the Angels and Oakland.
Very interesting. Not even having the Rays in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll throw the Rays in there, but I don't.
I think it's I think it's a fair point. I
remind me.
actually don't have the Rays too high on mine either. Robbie, did you want to say something real quick?
Are we doing Rookie of the Year predictions in this episode?
Later on,
We
right?
can do it later on. Yeah. Well,
Okay,
let's.
okay.
What are we at here?
Then
Right.
I'll save my point for later, but okay.
At around a quarter after, we should probably we'll pick it up here a little bit. My division looks pretty similar to pretty much everyone else's. I mean, if we're being honest here, the AL East is not exactly a hard division to pick. The Yankees will win it, and I can say that with the utmost certainty. I do have the Blue Jays in second place, and I've been saying to Mr. Robbie Cruz the past 3 months to watch out for the Blue Jays, and I still firmly believe that. Now, I will say, yes, the news today about Kirby Yates was incredibly, incredibly tough to swallow.
That's what changed my prediction.
Yes.
I'm being
That's
completely
exactly
honest.
what changed my yeah.
I had Toronto in second place until they lost Kirby Yates, but now they don't have an anchor at the back end. That's the biggest thing for me.
They don't have an anchor right now, and that's true. The bullpen scares me. I can tell you firsthand what bullpen struggles will do to a team. But I do very much so believe in that young core. I believe in the additions they made. And I'm a firm believer that every once in a while on a baseball team, someone's going to step up where they need to. I think that they have a young arm or two that could step up and fill in where they need to. Hey, laugh all you want. I would be scared of the Blue Jays.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah.
They're not going to pull any upsets here. As much as I joke, they're not going to beat the Yankees for the division. But I do honestly believe they have a legitimate chance of second place. Third through fifth, I have I have Rays, Red Sox, Orioles, I believe. James did make some solid points about the Red Sox. I could see those two flipped. I really don't think the Rays will be good this year. I think the Rays are going to enter a period of mediocrity again for a little bit before they flare up again, make it to a World Series, and lose in 7 games.
And I don't want to just stick with chalk. I want to go bullish and make at least one bold pick. And why not be bullish on your favorite team?
That's fair.
Because if it works out, it works out.
Hey, we will see later in the broadcast that my predictions are full of bold takes, so I am not going to fault you at all for that.
I'm going to make a quick point. My most bold take was actually the Red Sox finishing in last in AL East. That was my big bold take. So if you guys are expecting anything different, that's it right there.
All right, there we go.
Good to hear. Let's move on to the. Well, I don't know. You guys want to do an entire league first, or do you want to mix it up and do regions?
I think do league.
Oh, league. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move to AL Central then, and I guess I'll start it off here. AL Central, a division that was plagued, one team in particular, with some unfortunate news today as one of the future superstars of the sport, Eloy Jimenez, is going to be out for 5 to 6 months after trying to rob a home run in a spring training game. A very, very unfortunate
And a painful
injury to see.
torn pectoral.
Very painful to watch. It's unfortunate. You got a guy with as much talent as him. You want to see him on the field and producing as much as possible. Now, given that, I do still think the White Sox take the division. That is a very talented team. They made great additions this offseason, and I don't really think that the Twins or Indians did enough to overtake their spot at the top. I have the Twins in second, the Indians in third, Royals and Tigers in fourth and fifth. For the sake of time here, I'll count the White Sox as my team. I just think the additions were great, and I do still think that they have enough pop in their bat in their lineup with enough bats to get them to that division crown. Although I want to touch briefly on the Royals, I don't think the Royals are going to be as bad as people think. That team has some pieces. That's what I'm going to say. They're not going to probably be over 500 this year, but I like a lot of the pieces on that team. And not just, the easy pick like Bobby Wood Jr., whoever it may be. I really do like Jorge Soler. I think he's finally developed into the player that the Cubs thought he was going to be when they drafted him. Actually, they signed him out of Cuba.
Yeah,
they didn't even
signed
draft
him out
him.
of Cuba.
And I don't know. There's a couple pieces on there that I really like. So don't count out the Royals. James, how about you? What are you looking at for the AL Central?
I've got the same order. I've got the White Sox winning the division. They made so many moves this offseason, and they're a team last year that was on the cusp, and you could tell they were just a couple moves away. And they did exactly what they needed to do this offseason. And Garrett Crochet avoiding Tommy John surgery
Huge.
Might be the biggest addition of their offseason, because now he's right back in the fold, right back in the arsenal as a weapon in October. I've got the Twins finishing in second and taking the first wild card spot in the American League. And then third through fifth, I've got the Indians, the Royals, and the Tigers. I'll quickly touch on the Royals before I touch on the White Sox. The Royals, I think, with Merrifield, Benintendi, Soler, you have pieces in place. And Hunter Dozier, you have pieces in place to play a little bit of small ball, 3-run homer. They're not gonna be as bad as people think. I'll touch on the White Sox real quick. Eloy Jimenez, huge loss. He was just getting started last year. He was just scratching the surface, and it would have been really fun to watch him over a full 162, especially with the struggles that Luis Robert had. Although I think Robert will bounce back. He will, yes, there was a huge hole in his swing, but he will bounce back. Name to watch for the Chicago White Sox, Andrew Vaughn. They're considering moving him to left field. He is a first baseman, the number 3 prospect in baseball, but now with Eloy's injury, they're considering moving him to left field. I'd love to see how he transitions out to the outfield if they do move him there, and how he plays over a full season, because he will make the opening day roster. They're not worried about manipulating his service time. That's who I'm most excited to watch the White Sox this year.
Fantastic picks indeed. Robbie, how's your division looking?
It's the exact same as
Wow.
James's, actually. Only difference.
Same as
I
mine,
have-
too. We all had the same one.
Only difference I have, actually, is I could see a reality in which the Royals finish third rather than fourth.
Over Cleveland?
Yeah. And I'm interested. I know they announced that Witt's not going to be in the major league to start the season, but hey, I could see him coming in later on having a really grand impact on this team.
Well, he's only played 34 minor league games. I think that's what's getting lost. Dayton Moore does not manipulate service time, and he is not doing that at all. Bobby Witt is just not fully developed yet, which is totally fine.
I see the way he swings, the way he plays the right way, and honestly, I really believe in this kid. That's just why I could see him coming up halfway into the season and helping them win some games.
For sure.
Absolutely, I agree. I think that about wraps up the AL Central. I think it's pretty safe to assume one of the two teams at the top there will be taking it, White Sox being the favorites. Let's move to the West. And I got to be honest here, James. You mentioned earlier in the show the fact that everyone picks the Angels as their team to make their bold take. I do believe this might be the year that the Angels finally surprise a lot of people.
Oh, I like it. You got them winning the division?
I do have them winning the division, and I'll tell you why. We talked last week about the Athletics, and we talked about how they basically replaced all of their vacancies with discount versions of them.
Right.
Whether it be Trevor Rosenthal, Elvis Andrus, whoever it may be. And I honestly don't feel like there's still enough there to make me pick them as the favorite for the division. Then let's move over to the Astros. The Astros still have a lot of good pieces. They just lost George Springer, which is huge. It's a huge hole in their lineup that they lost. Of course, they did get Brantley back, which was nice. But let's take a look at the pitching there for a second, because not only is Justin Verlander missing that entire season, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Framber Valdez also is. At least most of it, correct?
He's missing a good portion of it,
and
at least.
That's detrimental, because now you do still have Zach Greinke. Thank God they made that trade. They have a true legitimate ace still. But I'm going to tell you something. I saw the news about the McCullers signing yesterday. I didn't like that at all.
What do you think about Odorizzi?
I do like the Odorizzi signing, and I'll tell you what.
He's been pretty bad, though.
He's
been real bad.
Spring training doesn't
Spring
mean
training.
anything.
That's my thing.
No, I'm just saying he was really bad last year, and hey, he looks even worse right now than he did last year.
Here's my thing, right? I do like the Odorizzi signing, and when I originally when he was originally about to sign with a team, I remember saying to, I believe it was one of you, that I would have loved for the Phillies to give him a chance.
That's why I wanted the Red Sox to get this offseason, honestly.
Exactly. He's a guy that, and I will say this, if the Astros are going to win the division, it's because a guy like him steps up and is a legitimate, I guess he'd be their number 2, or is he going to be their 3 behind McCullers?
He's going to be their 3. He'll start the season as their 3. But.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If they're going to win the division, it's going to be because a guy like him steps up. But other than that, I don't know. I can't look past the injury to Valdez. I can't look past the injury to Verlander. I can't look past the fact that, is their bullpen even that good outside of a few guys? Presley's still there, right? He's all right.
It's Presley, and that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, and I think the lineup is going to be impacted a lot more than people think from the loss of George Springer. So that's why I have the Angels in first. I do have the Astros in second, the A's in third, followed by the Mariners, who I do believe will come in fourth. Really like Kyle Lewis. I like a lot of the pieces there. And also then the Rangers in last place, which is a shame because they will be, as far as I know and as of right now, the only team with 100% capacity come opening day. Not really sure if that's going to be full or not. But that's neither here nor the point. I do have the Angels winning. That's probably my boldest take on the entire show. I know I already touched on the Astros, but I'll just say, look, there's too much talent in Los Angeles. There's too much. One of these years it has to work out. And look, maybe you can fault me here for picking the storybook ending to Pujols' career, and this is the year where they make the playoffs and go deep into it. But I could legitimately see it happen. Anthony Rendon is a superstar. I'm not going to say anything about Mike Trout because I don't need to say anything about Mike Trout. Shohei Ohtani is back in pitching. This is going to be a fantastic year to be an Angels fan. That's my bold take. Robbie, on to you.
So, I believe that the Oakland Athletics will win the American League West.
And the A's, man.
Wow, man.
I know we disagree on this, but hey, don't doubt the Oakland Athletics. I'm telling you, this team is going to be good. Second place, I have the Houston Astros. Andrew said it best. There's too much talent there. Third place, I have the Los Angeles Angels. I believe that Jose Quintana is actually going to be very good this year. I think it was a great pickup. He's looked really good in spring training. Honestly, I like the Quintana signing. I think Shohei Ohtani is going to have a great year. I think, like Andrew said, there's going to be a lot of great pieces in Los Angeles. However, I still have questions about the bullpen. I know they had Horacio Iglesias. They're trying Alex Claudio again. But other than that, I don't see enough pieces in that bullpen. Fourth place and fifth place, I think it's completely irrelevant, like the Red Sox and Orioles debate. But if I had to pick, I'm going to go with the Mariners finishing fourth and the Rangers finishing fifth. And then here's a bold take. I believe this is way early, but I could see at the trade deadline one of the big pieces being Joey Gallo at the trade deadline.
Wow. Now, I don't know about that because they really like him down in Texas, and
they really do. But I think that eventually if they're as bad as I think they're going to be this year, eventually he's got to go.
That's fair. I feel like he's been in the talk for trade deadlines for the past 3 years. I really do. I remember, I want to say it was 2018 maybe, when they were throwing that name around. And it seems like every year they dangle his name, they don't get what they're looking for, and then they pull him back. So you think this is the year where they finally say, all right, we got to do this?
I don't think that this year there are going to be that many big names on the trade block. But out of the biggest names, I could see him being one of the big ones.
That's very fair. Thanks for the predictions.
I don't think he's going to be the biggest name, obviously, but yeah.
That's fair, yes. Absolutely. So that's Robbie Cruz's AL West predictions. Let's move to James now. How do you got the division lining up?
Well, there's 3 people on the show, and we have 3 different winners for the AL West.
Wow.
I've got the Houston Astros reclaiming their crown as champions of the AL West. I know Verlander's going to be missing the year. Valdez is going to be missing the year, but I still think offensively, despite the loss of George Springer, they still have a lot of talent. It's a contract year for Carlos Correa. He's going to be out to have his best year possible and make as much money as possible he can in the offseason. Alex Bregman is going to have a bounce back year. You still have Jose Altuve, who's probably going to have a bounce back year. I wouldn't count out Altuve for as poor as 2020 was for him. I wouldn't discount them for making moves at the deadline. They always seem to make moves at the deadline to help out their team. And, I think this year will be no different. In second place, I have the Angels. There is, Anthony Rendon is a top 10 player in the game. He is one of the best. Mike Trout, everyone knows how great Trout is, but the combination of Rendon and Trout and Ohtani in the middle of the order is unbelievable. And the fact that Ohtani is back pitching, that's a legitimate threat. My biggest concern with them is, can Ohtani stay healthy for a full season to pitch a full season and to obviously produce the plate a full season? If I knew the answer was yes, I'd have the Angels in the playoffs 100% because Shohei Ohtani is that special. but he's had injuries the past 2 years. You just don't know how his body is going to react to his first full season in 2 years because he didn't even make it through 2019. That's my biggest concern with him and with the Angels because I really think the fate of their season hinges on the health of Shohei Ohtani. I could see them winning the division, but I could also see him getting hurt in June and them finishing in 3rd or 4th place.
So Shohei Ohtani is the key for you.
Absolutely. He's that special of a player and he's that talented. Like
I absolutely agree.
If we're gonna get the Babe Ruth comparisons, don't get me wrong, Ohtani is incredibly special, but he's got to go out and do it for a full season. And I think his health is the biggest key to the Angels season, and it could ultimately end up, having a huge part in who wins the American League. 3rd, I've got the Oakland Athletics. 4th place, the Seattle Mariners. 5th, the Texas Rangers. Can I touch on the Mariners real quick?
Absolutely.
Kyle Lewis. Unbelievable talent, unbelievable player. We saw how special he was last year. The biggest guy I want to touch on, and this is my name to watch this year, Jared Kelenic. Jared Kelenic, 6th pick in the 2018 draft. He was the headliner piece in the Robinson Cano Edwin Diaz trade from the New York Mets. He is an incredibly talented player, and he's got power, he's got speed, hits for average. He's a very good defender, and he's got a strong arm. He has the ability to be a 5-tool player. He's someone that the Mariners obviously want to build around. They offered him a laughable contract extension that he rightfully turned down. Last year, actually 2 days before the shutdown, I got his autograph and I got a selfie with him. He was a cool dude. Talked to him for a minute. But that's beside. I just want to throw that in there. But that's beside the point. He's an incredibly talented player and an important piece of the Mariners' future to go along with Kyle Lewis. And he's my name to watch in the AL West. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. And I think Seattle needs to take advantage of having him and Kyle Lewis and build a winner at some point soon.
A quick side note, very good point there. A big rest in peace to Graffing. Am I right?
Yes.
That is never going to happen again, and it's very sad to know that future generations will not be able to experience the same fantastic experience. But that is just an aside. That is our AL predictions, and we'll get into...
Are we going to go to pennant winners now, or are we going to do it after?
No, we can do it after.
Okay.
I think we'll get through the divisions in the NL, then we'll go ahead and head into the playoffs for the pennant winners and the eventual World Series champion. So let's go back east. We're in the National League. I guarantee you that all three of us also have a different division here. I'm very excited to get into it. Robbie, go ahead. Give us your NL East, 1 through 5.
So, first place in the National League East this year, I have the Atlanta Braves repeating again. Second place, I think it's going to be the Washington Nationals. I'm sorry. Second place, I have the New York Mets. Third place, I have the Nationals. Fourth place, I'm sorry, Andrew, I have the Phillies. And the last place, I have the Marlins again. Now, the team that I want to cover briefly is the New York Mets. I know I'm going to predict the future right now, folks.
Yeah, what's
Andrew
that?
Snaith is going to say that the Mets are going to Met and that they are not going to get anywhere.
Well, we're just going to have to wait and see then. I didn't give my predictions yet. You're putting words in my mouth.
You're going to say it. I know you're going to say it, and guess what? When you say it, you are going to be absolutely wrong. The Mets have great pieces this year. Jacob deGrom, he's throwing 100 miles per hour now. I think Jacob deGrom is going to have the best year of his career this year. I know he's had great years in the past, but I think that this year is going to be really special for him. Getting Marcus Stroman back, I think, really helps. They signed a few pieces. Their bullpen is going to be better. Now, I know they have a few question marks, but I still believe in this bullpen. Now, the lineup, obviously getting Francisco Lindor is a big piece, but there are so many other pieces that the Mets have right now that makes me believe in them. That's why I have them finishing second.
All right.
Do you have them taking a wild card?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, or do making the wild card game?
Do you have them as one of the 2 wild cards? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
excellent.
who are you 2 wild cards in the AL, Andrew? I think we should. I think we should say our wild cards
In the AL?
Yeah.
That's fine. You want to go ahead and give yours?
for my AL wild cards.
The
The Red
AL,
Sox, the Twins, and the Red Sox.
Twins and the Red Sox. All right, I have the Twins and the Astros.
All right. I have the Twins and the Rays.
All right. So now that we got that out of the way, I wanna go ahead and give my predictions here. And I need to say first, I have my predictions here on my phone. James can vouch for me here, who my division winner is, to say that I am not BSing here based on what Robbie just said.
Correct, he's not.
I have the New York Mets winning the division.
Oh, shoot.
I do. Look, and here's the thing. I clown on the Mets all the time.
And I will say this: the day that they traded for Lindor, I texted Andrew, and he said it doesn't matter. Mets gonna Met. So someone has had a conversion.
I did.
So I told you.
No. I'm not going to deny it. Here's the thing. I've clowned on the Mets for as long as they've been in existence. And there's a good chance that they will Met this year because Mets gonna Met. It happens. But here's the thing, right? if I'm being an actual logistical smart baseball analyst here, I can't deny the fact that this is probably on paper the most talented team in the NL East. Now, I will say the on paper team doesn't normally win, and there's a reason that we play 162 games. There is. And that's also going to explain my second pick, by the way. But I can't take away from the Mets what they've done. That lineup over the past couple years without Francisco Lindor has been a thorn in my side. Dominic Smith is so talented. Jeff McNeil is one of the most annoying, frustrating people to watch the Phillies face.
But you would love him on the Phillies.
You would
love him on the Phillies.
I love Jeff McNeil. He is a fantastic baseball player, can play like 6 positions, hits 340 for God's sake. Absolutely love Jeff McNeil. He's a thorn in my side. And then, of course, you add Lindor on top of that with all the other talent they have.
What about Pete Alonso? Bounce back year?
No. That's something I will say.
No.
I don't believe in Pete Alonso. I think we saw the best of Pete Alonso 2 years ago, and we're not going to see anything close to that ever again. That's a bold take, but that's my take. I'm going to move on to my second place team. I'm going to touch briefly on this. I do think the Phillies are going to come in second place. And I got to tell you something. I've said this on this show so many times. The Nationals are not a good baseball team. Let me rephrase that. They're a good baseball team. They're not a great baseball team. I am waiting, and I'm not going to say praying because that's terrible, but the day is coming where the Nationals' $700 million committed to 3 starting pitchers will catch up to them. It will. I'm sorry. I am not a fan of Patrick Corbin. I don't think Steven Strasburg is going to be healthy this year. I think that Max Scherzer could have another good year, but his decline begins in 2021. And there's too many question marks in this lineup. And I'm sorry to put you on the spot here, but you put the Phillies in 4th place after they completely rehauled their bullpen and kept their elite offense. That offense last year was so good that they would have been the first wild card if they had not lost something like 13 games due to that bullpen. And that lineup ultimately is going to be so good that it doesn't matter how potentially good the Nationals pitching is, because the lineup it's a question mark. It's a giant question mark outside of 2 people. Trey Turner is one of my favorite players to watch, and Juan Soto, as we said last week, is possibly a god among men. Besides that, I don't know if Josh Bell's going to be good. I don't know if
I know
Kyle
spring training
Schwarber's
doesn't
gonna
matter,
be good.
but Josh
Yes.
Bell does have a 1,400 OPS in spring training.
Hey,
Again,
you know who else is playing really well? Ryan Zimmerman hitting .474 right now.
I'm not afraid of Ryan Zimmerman in his age
Take much
90
more
season.
stock in Josh Bell's numbers than
Yeah.
Obviously, I was exaggerating, but yeah, you obviously want to take stock from Josh
But
Bell.
look, here's the thing. The Phillies might not make the playoffs, but I will stand by until the end of the season the fact that the Nationals are not going to be a great, let me rephrase that. I don't want to make anyone angry here in D.C., a great baseball team. Too many question marks, and I don't like them. Let me touch briefly on the Phillies. I'll pass it over. I know I'm talking too long here, but the Phillies doubled down. They ran it back with their offense. They brought back the best catcher in baseball. They brought back their slugging shortstop in Didi Gregorius, who was one of the best offensive shortstops in the game. Fantastic numbers at Citizens Bank Park. He's going to do it again over a full season this year. And look, that lineup, outside of who may play center field, that has no question marks. Everyone in that lineup is a threat to go deep. Everyone in that lineup is a threat to have a monster season. Bryce Harper, one of the greatest offensive talents in the MLB, had another year with a 420 on-base percentage. I know it was in 60 games, but still ridiculous. He's primed to have another good season. JT's healthy, ready to go. And the bullpen was overhauled. We have Brandon Kinsler coming off of a season where he was a closer with great potential for the Miami Marlins. He's coming here on a $3 million deal. Alvarado's touching 101 in spring training. Archie Bradley's ready to go. He's looked great. Hector Neris, now that he doesn't have to close, is going to be fantastic. Connor Brogdon will be the name to watch. I am very high on the Phillies, and I got to tell you something. I'm not trying to do this with as little bias as possible, because 2 years ago I didn't have the Phillies even coming close to winning the division. So I'm being honestly as least biased as possible here. I think they have a very good shot to come in second place and possibly even win the division.
You know, that's not actually that bad of a take because, like you said, the Phillies are very talented. I think people are underestimating their abilities this year.
And here's the thing. I don't blame them because the past 2 years we've had the worst bullpen in history, and then we had Gabe Kapler doing God knows what the last 2 years before that. So I don't blame people for saying on every single post that's predictions, every single comment is, oh, Philly's spending $200 million to get 4th place. Isn't that funny? And look, will that happen? I don't think it will, but it might. But I think it's just, it really is, to quote Robbie here, it's asinine to just place them in that just because of the past 2 years. 2021 is in 162 new games and is not based on the past 2 years, and I believe the Phillies have a great chance to come in second place. James, what's your NL East looking like?
Who you got? Who's the rest of your division?
Oh, I'm sorry, actually. I got so carried away, I didn't even say the rest of it. I have the Braves in third. I don't like the Braves pitching at all. I don't think they're that good. I'm not going to talk any more about that. Someone can challenge me on that if you want. Charlie Morton is not going to be good this year. Everyone else is coming back from injuries. I mean, you got, Soroka coming back from injury, right?
Yeah, but it was a torn Achilles. He'll be back.
Yeah, I know he'll be back. And then you have, there's just a lot of question marks. Fried, I guess he could be pretty good. That's fine. I don't know. I don't like the Braves that much. I think the Braves' reign of terror in the NL East is done. Fourth is the Nationals.
The bullpen is a big question mark, I will
That's what I'm saying. Outside of Will Smith, I mean, that's about it. I'm not really afraid of anyone in the Braves bullpen. I have the Nationals in fourth because they're not a great baseball team. That's my quote of the episode. And Marlins are going to be in fifth.
Well, after all that, I have the Nationals win the division. No, I'm just kidding. I have the Atlanta Braves winning the division, and I completely understand what Andrew's saying about the holes in their bullpen, and I completely agree. But I think offensively, you have all the pieces there. You re-sign Ozuna. You have Dansby Swanson coming off the best year of his career. You have Travis d'Arnaud, one of the best offensive hitting catchers in baseball, and of course you have Freddie Freeman, the reigning league MVP, Ronald Acuna Jr., one of the best players in baseball, and Ozzie Albies. I think offensively you have that core there, and they're going to continue to carry the Braves, and they're going to win their third consecutive NL East title, or fourth consecutive.
But thoughts on Ozuna having to play left field every day, though, now? Because
it's going to be very tough. Be very tough. But they signed him to hit, so if they win the division, it doesn't matter if he makes 36 errors.
That's fair.
And he did win a Gold Glove, actually, in 17, believe it or not.
That's very hard to believe,
I know.
Yeah.
But no, yes, him playing left field will have a different dynamic, but I think offensively they're still going to do enough to win the division. Second place, and as a wild card in the National League, I have the New York Mets. Just like Andrew said, this is one of the most talented Mets teams we've had in a while. Obviously, the addition of Lindor is very similar to the addition of Mookie with the Dodgers last year, putting them over the top and carrying them into the playoffs. They have the best pitcher in baseball, Jacob deGrom. Michael Conforto, I think one of the more underrated players in baseball, a guy that no one really seems to talk about, but consistently puts up 30 homers and 90 to 100 RBIs every year and gets on base at a good clip. Dom Smith, we saw him scratch the surface last year. Jeff McNeil is going to hit 330 again, and I don't think Pete Alonso will hit 53 home runs again, but I think he'll hit at least 35 home runs. I think he will have some sort of bounce back. Andrew and I disagree there, but to each his own, and I respect that opinion. Third and fourth place, these two can be these two can be interchanged because I see them around the same area. I think this is a very competitive division. Third, I have the Nationals. Fourth, I have the Phillies. But again, I can see those two flip-flopping. And fifth place, I have the Miami Marlins. My name to watch in the division, Ian Anderson. Ian Anderson had a very good stretch run last year for the Braves. He was the number 3 overall pick in his draft class for a reason. He just started to scratch the surface, and I think with Soroka coming back, the year that Fried had last year, he had a very good year, and the addition of Charlie Morton, I just think that rotation in Atlanta is too good to not win the division with the offense that they have. So I have Atlanta winning the division, the Mets finishing in second, taking a wild card.
So I just want to ask real quick before we move on.
Sure.
You really don't have any worries about the question marks in that Nationals lineup, and you think that they're just I don't understand how this I feel like nobody else has this take.
No, I do.
Okay.
Because I thought they should have signed Rendon instead of Strasburg. I said that. Of
course, we all agree.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, do you really think that pitching is still going to be good enough to carry them to, say, third place over the Phillies?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because look, I completely understand what you're saying about the holes throughout their entire pitching staff, but eventually I'll line up with Juan Soto and Trey Turner. Like, if Josh Bell doesn't produce, guess what? They're going to go out and what if they decide to go on and trade for Chris Bryant at the deadline? Like, they know that it's an obvious hole, and they're going to do something to protect Juan Soto. So if Josh Bell isn't producing, they'll go get a Chris Bryant or whoever's a Trevor Story, someone who's on the market. I just think that they'll do enough. But look, I don't have them making the playoffs, so it's like,
yeah, of course.
What is it really? At the end of the day, if you're not going to make the playoffs, what does it matter?
That's very true. It's very true. Just wanted in there on the thoughts on that. So that'll wrap up the NL East. Lengthy discussion there. Kind of predicted that one. It is. I think we can all agree without a doubt the most exciting division in baseball.
Yeah, I agree.
Legitimately, 4 and potentially 5, I believe teams can make the playoffs. I'm not counting the Marlins out. I think in a perfect world, Marlins
you could make a case for all 5 to win the division or at least make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. So absolutely the most competitive and interesting division in baseball. Let's move to the NL Central as we try to get through this here so we can get to the predictions for the awards and also the postseason. Robbie, do you have your NL Central predictions ready to go?
Yes, I have the St. Louis Cardinals winning the NL Central. I have the Milwaukee Brewers finishing second, and then afterwards, I don't know what exactly is going to happen. I'm going to throw out 3 random teams. It's going to be a guess, honestly. I have the Chicago Cubs, then the Cincinnati Reds, and finishing last will be the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I think we can all agree on number 5 there. I think James would not disagree as well.
I completely agree.
But let me ask you about your top 4, James. What do you got?
It's a tough division because none of the teams, other than I guess you could say the Cardinals, really stand out. Like the Brewers are a very good team, but they're not better than the Cardinals, and they're not that much better than the Cubs. You can make that argument, I think.
Yeah, I've got the St. Louis Cardinals winning the division. I think Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, that's an unbelievable duo in the middle of that order, and I think they're going to narrowly edge out the second place Milwaukee Brewers. Christian Yelich is my name to watch in the division. He's going to have a bounce, and he's my name to watch because he's going to have a bounce back year, put up top 5 MVP numbers again, and return to the player that he was in 2018 and 2019. In third, I have the Chicago Cubs. Fourth, I have the Cincinnati Reds. Fifth, I have the Pittsburgh Pirates. Another name to watch, Ke'Bryan Hayes.
Yes, Ke'Bryan Hayes, I do believe, is a good name.
Yeah, did you guys hear about the contract extension news?
Why would he sign that? I'm glad he turned it down.
Yeah, he turned it down. He had to have turned it down.
It was the Pirates. Did you expect anything else? I mean, come on. I think...
What's your division? You got the same?
No, well, I don't actually. I was going to say something else, but I do believe...
No, say it.
This is going to be a bold prediction, but I do believe that the Brewers are taken.
There we go.
I'm taking their division. And here's the thing, right? James said that he thinks Christian Yelich is coming back to MVP form, and I have to agree. I don't think he's just going to come back to MVP form. Christian Yelich is my 2021 NL MVP. I'll say that right now. Christian Yelich is going to have a fantastic season. I'm sticking by it. Christian Yelich is going to have a fantastic season. He's going to carry Milwaukee on their backs, kicking and screaming into the playoffs. It's going to happen.
Well, since we're giving out awards, and I didn't want to give it away last week, can I say he's my MVP pick too?
There you go.
Like I had them finishing in second by a game or two, but he's also Christian Yelich is my 2021 NL MVP pick as well.
I really do think he's going to have a good season, and I absolutely love. I love the talent they have there. Brandon Woodruff is so underrated as a starting pitcher. I think Brandon Woodruff is going to have a very, very good ace-like season. I really, really like Devin Williams, of course. I still don't think he should have won Rookie of the Year, but that's a debate for another day. But I love him in the back end of that bullpen. And I just love the little pieces they made, the little signings like Colton Wong, things like that. They go a long way. I really do. And I don't know, something about the Cardinals and the fact that doesn't it seem like every year the Cardinals are trying to get better offensively? It seems like every single year. And yes, they have 2 fantastic bats right now.
Well, like like I see what you're saying, but Nolan Arenado is a major upgrade.
Oh, of course he is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Arenado's the question mark. I'm saying I don't know if Paul Goldschmidt is Paul Goldschmidt again this year.
Fair enough.
I honestly don't know. He was a different player in Arizona. He really was. He was feared. Paul Goldschmidt was a guy, I remember in fantasy, he was so coveted because not only would he put up a 300 average or 30 home runs, he would steal like 25 bags as well. And I know he's getting older, but I just, the Paul Goldschmidt that was a superstar, I think regresses to the Paul Goldschmidt that is a very good player.
Fair enough.
2021. I think that wraps it up. Oh, go ahead, Robbie.
One quick point. I think, I actually disagree with your guys' MVP. I think Christian Yelich is going to be great this year, but I do not see him winning MVP.
Okay, that's fair enough. We'll get to your MVP pick once we finish the NL West. And let's move out west, and let's play a game called Who Has the Padres Winning the Division and Who Has the Dodgers Winning the Division, because those are really the only 2 options.
Yeah, we don't have to go through the rest of the order.
We
honestly.
really don't. All I'll say real quick is that I think the Giants will get 3rd, and I think they have some talent on that team that's underrated. Other than that, Robbie, Padres or Dodgers, and why?
Dodgers, because they won the division last year. They just got the reigning Cy Young Award winner, and they have so many great pieces in that lineup.
Can't argue with that. James, which one?
Oh, the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're the reigning World Series champions and still the best team in baseball. As much as the Padres did this offseason, still not better than the Dodgers.
I'm not going to be able to add anything that no one else said. I have the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And I know that's all chalk talk, but let's just be real. They're the best team in baseball. They're going to win over 100 games again.
It's too good. And you know what? Something I have to call out with the Dodgers, I respect greatly the fact that they have an owner who said screw it to the luxury tax and just went all in and got Trevor Bauer. Because that's the move not only do they need to make, that's a path that I think every high market team in baseball should be doing.
And especially since it was after the Padres upgraded, they were just like, we have to continue to upgrade. And that'll lead to my other point. The Padres are going to be my other wildcard team in the National League. So I have the Mets and the Padres as my 2 NL wildcard teams. Andrew, how about you?
Phillies Padres in San Diego, which, by the way, I will say right now, if that happens, I will be there in San Diego. I'm not missing it. And
I've got a Jacob DeGrom, Yu Darvish wildcard game.
Jacob DeGrom, Yu Darvish. Okay, I got you think they're going to start Darvish in that wild card game?
We'll see.
I want to see a Snell Nola.
Robbie, who you got for your wild cards? The Padres and who?
Padres and Mets.
Wow. Okay.
There we go, just like me.
That's fair. Right. That's fair. I have no problem with that. AL wild card game. Who's beating who? Robbie, go ahead.
I think that the American League wild card game winner will be. That's a tough one. I'm going to say the White Sox. I'm sorry, the Twins rather.
Okay. All right. That's fair. James, how about you?
I'll just be bullish and say the Minnesota Twins will lose their 19th playoff game in a row, and Chris Sale will pitch the Red Sox to victory in the wild card game.
All right. I actually didn't have my my winner set of the NL. I do think the Padres.
Honestly, I'm just going out on a limb, but we don't need a winner. It doesn't matter.
That's fair. Okay. All right. And that's the two wildcard games there. Let's just talk about the pennants real quick. Who's the American League champion? Robbie, go ahead.
This isn't a question. It's the New York Yankees.
It's the New York Yankees. James, who's the AL champion?
Despite the Eloy Jimenez injury, the Chicago White Sox.
That is bold indeed.
That
is very bold indeed, and I will say...
You'll see it in my awards prediction why.
Yes, that's fair. I will say the Yankees will win the AL, but we agreed last week that if one team is going to beat the Yankees, and I will believe this, I still believe this, it will be the White Sox.
Yeah, no, and look, I have a Yankees-White Sox ALCS for what it's worth, but I just think in a 7-game series, I think the White Sox, they're right there. They're right there, and I think this is their year to get over the hump and finally prove it.
All right. NL. Robbie, what you got?
I think the Padres are going to win the wild card game.
No,
and then
the pennant.
Oh, sorry, the Dodgers. No question.
All right, James. Dodgers.
LA Dodgers.
I have the San Diego Padres. I'm looking at a San Diego Padres New York Yankees World Series, and I'm going to be bold and say Friar fans get their ring. It's going to be a 7-game victory for the Padres and an utter upset of the New York Yankees.
The only thing that scares me about the Padres
is
the possibility of playing in that wild card game. Because if you run into Jacob DeGrom in a 1-game scenario, not that I don't have faith.
Exactly what I was
not
thinking.
that I don't have faith in the Padres. I obviously have them winning over 95 games, making the wild card game. But if you have to face Jacob DeGrom in a 1-game season, you never know what happens.
I offer you the point of the 2019 Washington Nationals.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No. I look. I can completely see the Padres winning the World Series. That's just the only thing that scares me about them.
Through the wild card?
Yes, I still can.
Yeah,
but
there we go.
That's like them playing in the wild card game scares me more than them playing the Dodgers in a 5 or 7 game series. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's fair. That wild card game takes a toll. It really does, because it's a all or nothing, and you got to use your best pitcher, and you're going to face the other team's best pitcher, and then 2 days later you're right into it with another 5-game series. I will say, not a fan of when they actually did decide to expand the playoffs, but I do like the fact that if you are the wild card now, you really are at a severe disadvantage come facing the next team in the playoffs. So I do like that.
Yeah.
All right, Robbie, what's the World Series looking like for you?
I have the Yankees and the Dodgers face off, and I have the Dodgers winning the World Series again.
Wow. That must have been very hard for you to say.
Yeah, you got to have humility with this,
That's fair. That's fair. James, how about you?
I have the Dodgers over the White Sox.
Very interesting. So we have three different World Series predictions here, but 2 of the same winners. I do think the Dodgers have, on paper, the best chance of winning the World Series, but I don't know. I feel like in baseball, it's too easy to do that. We did it with the Astros 2 years ago. We did it with the Yankees as well. I don't know.
I think the one difference with the Dodgers and everyone else is that the Dodgers have consistently shown up to the World Series. Now that they finally knocked that door down, and
you
they
think
added
it's like
Bauer.
A mental thing.
Yeah, I think once they knocked that door down, and then they added the reigning Cy Young Award winner. They finally got there, and now it's just going to be like, let's go, let's get another one, and.
All right, that's fair. I could very well see that. Baseball is a mental game at times, absolutely. So we already said our NL MVPs. I think it's no secret who me and James think is going to shine in the National League. But Robbie, who do you have winning that National League MVP award?
The NL MVP is going to be the guy who I think should have won it this past year, and that's Juan Soto.
That's fair.
I believe Juan Soto is going to go off this year, and I think he's going to be the MVP. Now, I think Christian Yelich will have a strong season. I think he could be a strong candidate. I also think that Jacob DeGrom is going to be a strong candidate for MVP. Yep.
So you're one of those guys who will give it to a pitcher.
I never said I would give it to him, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, I'm just saying.
Soto was the other guy I was wrestling with. It was going to be between Yelich and Soto for me.
I really believe it's going to be Soto because he's younger. He's more athletic. He's going to be carrying the team. Well, I know both guys will be carrying the team, but I feel like Juan Soto is going to be more valuable to the Nationals than Christian Yelich will be to the Brewers. Now, it's not saying that Yelich won't be valuable to the Brewers, but I think that Soto's value is going to be greater with the Nationals than Yelich's will be with the Brewers.
That's very interesting indeed. I'll take that. How about let's stay in the NL and finish up with that. Cy Young. James, who do you have?
The easy pick would be to say Jacob deGrom.
Of course.
So I'm going to go and pick a different guy, the guy who I've actually picked for the last 2 years. I'm going to go with Walker Buehler.
Okay. I like it. So no, might have a repeat of the Dodgers, but we're not going to have a repeat of Trevor Bauer, Cy Young.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is the year that Walker Buehler finally stays healthy and finally shoves out for a full 32 starts, 162-game season.
Okay, can't argue with that. My guy is another bold take here. I think Luis Castillo is going to have it this year. I love Luis Castillo. I've loved him since he was a rookie, and I really think this is the year that he takes the next step. And he's not going to be overshadowed by Trevor Bauer this year. Not that mattered at all. He was still a great pitcher, but he's going to be an elite pitcher come this year. Jacob deGrom, I can guarantee you, will not win the Cy Young. That is an Andrew Snaith guarantee here on Nation's Pastime and Nation's Capital. Thoughts on that, Robbie? And give us your NL Cy Young.
Well, I completely disagree with you, but, I mean, that's nothing new. I really believe that Jacob deGrom is going to win another Cy Young. Like I said, I believe he's going to be an MVP candidate this year, and I believe that he's going to win the Cy Young. Now, like I said earlier in the show, Jacob deGrom right now is throwing harder than he ever has before. And if he can't stay healthy, which I think he will, I think he's going to have the best season of his career and win the Cy Young.
Best season of his career? That's a pretty bold take considering the year he had 2 years ago.
Yeah, he could have that year again, and I think that this year it's going to be even better. I think this year he's going to have an even lower ERA. I think the strikeouts can go up. I think the innings pitched can go up. I think he's just going to have the greatest year of his career this year.
Alrighty. Let's move over to the AL then. James, who is your AL most valuable player?
Oh, I thought you were going to say – I was geared up to talk Cy Young.
You want to Cy Young? Go ahead. You can do Cy Young.
AL Cy Young, Lucas Giolito.
I like that pick. Very much. Robbie, who do you have?
I was actually thinking Giolito as well, but I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to stick with my guy, Garrett Cole.
All right.
Funny you say that because Garrett Cole is my Cy Young Award winner as well. I think he returns to the absolute monster that he was in 2019 with the Yankees in 2021.
Do you think even – no, and this is not a knock on Cole. This is a question for everyone, even though they can't be using the substances as much. Because I mean, look, you know
that's fair, yeah.
He clearly uses it,
and Cole was outed in that article. That's the only reason why I'm asking.
I don't know. I would like to think that it doesn't have that much effect on taking him from what he was to what he performed at in 2019. But you never know. Maybe that has a greater effect than actually. I think it's a good point.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I think it's a good point, and I think it's something you're going to have to watch. That was a very interesting article, by the way. That was released earlier this week. MVP, Robbie, who are we looking at as the most valuable player in the American League?
Can we just say a guy besides Trout? I think we can all agree that Trout is chalk,
yes.
but
Yeah, because, Trout's my pick, but I'm not going to say him.
Same here.
Someone else. Go ahead, Robbie.
If this guy stays healthy, a guy who I could have seen winning it would be a guy like I could have seen Shohei Ohtani winning it, honestly, if he were able to stay healthy, because I think he's going to be that great this year. I don't think he's going to MVP. I think Mike Trout's the clear winner, but honestly, I'm just going to say Shohei Ohtani just for
like it. I like that pick.
I think it's very bold. I also don't think it's that bold if he stays healthy.
Because he
would
does
be
both.
In the top
he literally
three.
does both. He hits and pitches. I like it.
What is more valuable than someone who does that?
Exactly.
Who do you have, James?
I'm going to stay in the AL West. I'm going to pick Alex Bregman. Bounce back season. Wow. If the Astros are going to win the division, Bregman's going to have to carry them there.
Wow. I got two bold takes. I think the most likely one outside of Trout is another Angel, Anthony Rendon. Man had a fantastic season last year. I don't think enough people are talking about.
You think they give it to him over Ohtani?
I think it depends on health again.
Because all those guys are on the same team. That's why it's so tough.
I know.
That's why it's so tough.
Honestly, it depends on health. If Ohtani is healthy and does both the full season, like Robbie said, Ohtani's your MVP. But I don't know if I have faith. I really don't know if I have faith in that. And that's not to say I don't have faith in the Angels winning the division still. I think that you could have a similar situation where they shut Ohtani down from pitching and he still produces with the bat. But I don't know if that would be enough to win him the MVP. So Anthony Rendon's my one guy. The other guy, come on, I'm giving it to Bo Bichette. This guy's gonna break out eventually. I'm telling you, Bo Bichette is a talent waiting to be had. He's gonna join the elite shortstop class very, very soon. It might be this year, and I don't think he's gonna win the MVP. This is just my non-Trout pick. But hey, why not?
Can we do Rookie of the Year real quick?
Go ahead. You have a Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, for both leagues.
Go
I
ahead.
have a Rookie of the Year too, actually. This is one that I'm really excited
I'll start in the
about.
NL Rookie of the Year. I'll go with the chalk here, Brian Hayes. What he did in his short stint up in September last year was unbelievable, over 1,000 OPS. AL Rookie of the Year, I think it's going to come down to a race between Jared Kelenic and Bobby Dahlbeck, and I'm going to go with Bobby Dahlbeck. If the Red Sox are going to make the playoffs this year, Dahlbeck is going to have to produce in the 6 or 7 spot, hitting over 30 home runs, and I think he's going to do exactly that. And he hit another home run 10 minutes ago. He's got 7 this spring.
I'm going to be completely honest. That is my pick as well. I love Bobby Dahlbeck. I said this last week. I watched him kill my Phillies last year in 2020, and I mean, look, he's going to be a monster. He's going to be a big home run hitter.
He's going to strike out a lot, but he's going to hit a lot of home runs and have a solid slugging percentage, and that's what matters.
I think he's going to be a better Chris Carter, if that's fair.
Much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just a player for comparison. He's going to strike out a ton. His OBP might not be the best. Mark Reynolds. There you go. Fine. He'll be a better Mark Reynolds. That one's even better than Chris Carter. But never forget Chris Carter's 40 home run season with the Milwaukee Brewers.
Right.
Robbie, who are we looking at for you?
So I'm surprised that you guys haven't said my guys. But the first guy who I want to say for the National League, I think it's going to be Sixto Sanchez. I think Sixto Sanchez will win it.
Is he still considered a rookie this year?
Yeah, so is Ian Anderson.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot about that.
And somebody in the American League, and I'm surprised you guys haven't even said his name yet, Wander Franco. I think he's going to win it this year. And I think that he's going to be really good for the Rays this year.
Wander Franco. Very good pick indeed. May not think the Rays are going to do good, but I do think he will be a fantastic
Who's your
player.
NL, Roy Andrew?
My NL Rookie of the Year.
Hayes?
Here's the thing. When I was thinking about this, I did pick Brian Hayes, and I think look, again, we could make bold takes here, or we could give the most logical pick. And James was right. What he did last year in his short stint was unbelievable.
And he's still carrying it over to the spring.
And he is. And also, why he's going to be playing every day. He's going to be the reason people go to a Pirates game this year. Why else are you going to a Pirates game outside of PNC Park, which is a beautiful park? And I think he's going to have the spotlight on him. And yeah, I do think he wins Rookie of the Year. But given the fact that Sixto is still eligible as well, let's be honest. I love JT Realmuto, but giving up him was a tough pill to swallow. I think he has a legitimate chance of doing it as well. So good pick indeed, Robbie. I think that Sixto Sanchez has a great chance as well. And I think that will about wrap up all of the predictions for the 2021 season. As we said, a week away from opening day, we are all so excited to just have a full season again, to get back into it. And like we said at the start of this broadcast, we play 162 games for a reason. Anything can happen, and anything will happen, as we've seen over the past couple years when you play a full season. Thank God we are back to that. And honestly, play ball. That's all I have to say.
I got one more thing.
You have
20
one more
seconds.
thing? Go ahead.
Okay, I said it on the end of our season preview show for last year, and I'll say it again. Mets fans, enjoy another underrated season from Michael Conforto. He's going to hit free agency, so this might be the last year that he's there. He's going to produce. 3 guys to watch out for bounce back year. Christian Yelich, obviously, but JD Martinez and Chris Bryant will both return to form, especially Bryant. He's got a contract year coming up. He's a top 15 player in the game when healthy, and he needs to produce if he wants to strike big on the open market this offseason.
I don't disagree. That's I think
agree.
Yeah, no, I think that all very, very good points. So I'm gonna close this out here, and then I do want to leave us with one more question. I'm gonna ask both of you. I want your hottest, boldest take of the answer to it. But before we get into that, thank you all so much for watching or for listening tonight. I am so sorry. It has been Nation's Pastime in the Nation's Capital here on WCUA Radio. We will be live again next week at 7 Eastern Standard Time, possibly a little after. And I am now realizing that no, we will not be, because next week is Holy Thursday, and here at the Catholic University of America, we will be observing that and will not be having a show. Apologies for that. We will be live again the following week after Easter and back here in the studio. So look for this episode up on our YouTube as well. You can follow us at Nat Pastime Cap for the information on when that's going to go up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'm going to leave it with this question, guys. Trevor Story, what team is he playing on in August?
The Washington Nationals.
Robbie, who's he playing on?
I did not expect this question, so I'm going to, off the top of my head, New York Yankees.
New York Yankees. All right. I don't have an answer for you. I just wanted to hear theirs as well. That's going to do it here on Nation's Pastime, Nation's Capital. Have a fantastic rest of your night.